I'm Leandra Letterman.
And I'm Allison Christians, and it's time to break into tax.
Welcome to Tax Papers Unlocked. Today we'll be discussing the paper by Professors Allison Christians and Tarcisio Magalhães, The Case for a Sustainable Excess Profits Tax. So here's the situation. You're at a conference, you're in the elevator with another conference member, you're going about 10 floors to the reception, and the other occupant of the elevator asks, "So what are you working on now?" And you need to quickly unlock your paper.
Thanks so much for asking. This paper argues for an environmental tax that's aimed at corporate income instead of at the consumer, as we normally see in the form of a carbon tax.
So now, Allison, let's change the situation slightly. You're actually at this conference in Manhattan, and the reception is at the restaurant on the 40th floor. So you actually have quite a number of additional floors. And so after you've given kind of your one-liner about the paper, what more could you unlock? Of course, your choice of what information to provide will probably depend on whether you know the person who's asking you the question and what you know about their work and their interests. But let's assume a situation where you don't know the other person at all. So you're really just trying to kind of convey the high level idea so that if they have specific questions about it, they can ask them.
So that's a great question. If I've got a few more floors, here's what I would say. You're probably aware of different kind of campaigns to convince consumers that products are sustainable or investors that investments are sustainable. And we're trying to get in that space and trying to interrogate that a little bit to try to figure out, well, what makes something sustainable or not? And in doing that, you actually come to the conclusion that some of these things can be priced. And when you start pricing sustainability, that starts to implicate the tax system. And this paper is trying to situate itself there. So normally we see externalities being priced in a tax system in the form of a carbon tax, but carbon taxes can be politically charged and can attract all kinds of different problems. And they're not necessarily progressive. They're not necessarily related to the person's relative ability to pay. So we're trying to situate that same conversation, but put it in the income tax where you can take into account relative ability to pay. And we're taking that idea that environmental externalities can be priced, and we're bringing them into the income tax through some common pricing and income measurement tools.
So if there's one takeaway that you wanted this person to leave the elevator with, what would it be?
I think the takeaway would be that there are alternatives to carbon taxation in the tax toolkit to achieve environmental goals.
This has been the Case for a Sustainable Excess Profits Tax Unlocked. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time as you break into tax.